Hello everyone, myself I am Rani. Today I am going to give a presentation on the deadlock problem and overview. Let me introduce myself. Myself Rani. I am studying at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, BTech second year. Let's see the contents. Introduction, types of resources involved in deadlocks, necessary conditions for deadlocks, methods for preventing deadlocks, and real world examples of deadlocks, and conclusion. Let's see the introduction for this. The deadlock problem is a common issue in a computer science, particularly in multi-threaded and distributed systems. It occurs when two or more processes are unable to proceed because they are waiting for each other to release resources. In other words, each process is holding a resource that the other process needs, resulting in a standstill. Let's understand what is process. So here, process is nothing but it's a it's a it's kind of thing. It's like process which does some task, like for example, let's say that you are writing something in notepad, and you are still using, and also you are listening the music. Here, writing the data into notepad is one process, and also you are listening the music, that is also one process. You know, this making some task is nothing but process. So here, deadlock is the problem common issue in computer science, particularly in multi-threaded and distributed systems. So multi-threaded in the sense, here threads are nothing but a lightweight process. They also perform some tasks, but they are lightweight and particularly multi-threaded and distributed systems. It occurs when two or more processes are unable to proceed because they are waiting for each other to release resources. For example, let's assume that there are two process A and process B. They want some resources. For example, they want input and output, or they want some signals from the CPU. They're waiting for the same resources. If A completes it, if A completes its execution, B will be taken, or B completes its execution, A will be taken. But they are waiting for the same process, the same resources. That can be called as deadlock, and they are not compromising it. A is compromising, A is not compromising, and B is not compromising the resources. It occurs when two or more processes are unable to proceed because they are waiting for each other to release resources. In other words, each process is holding a resource that the other process needs, resulting in a standstill. Deadlocks can cause significant problems in systems, including decreased performance, system crashes, and even data loss. So, these are the problems when deadlock occurs in systems, including decreased performance. It can decrease the performance. See, if two processes waiting for the same resources, that can be low in the performance of the CPU, performance of the computer, and system crashes, and even data loss. As such, it is important to understand the causes of deadlocks and how they can be prevented. So this is the common factor. We should know how deadlock occurs and how it can be prevented. So types of resources involved in deadlock. So as I said before, A processor and process B are waiting for the same resources. So let's see what are the types of resources involved in deadlocks. In order to understand the deadlock problem, it is important to consider the types of resources involved. These can include hardware resources such as printers, disk drives, and network conventions, as well as software resources such as memory, files, and database. So, if it can be in hardware resources or software resources. Hardware resources in the sense like printers, disk drives, network connections. If it is software resources such as memory, files, and database. When two or more processes require exclusive access to resources, a deadlock can occur if they are unable to obtain it. For example, if process A is holding a printer and require access to a file held by process B, but process B is holding the file and requires access to a printer, a deadlock can occur. Here process A is having printer and process B has having a file. process A is waiting to get the file and complete its execution, but here process B is waiting for printer which can complete its execution. So this may be the problem of deadlock. Here the deadlock can arise. So here I have kept a picture. Let's understand the picture. See, I have told what are threads. Threads are nothing but lightweight process. They are also comes under the process. Thread 1, resource 1. Thread 1 is holding resource 1. Thread 2 is holding resource 2. Here thread 1 holds object lock for R1. It holds it and waiting for resources 2. And here thread 2 holds object lock for R2, that is resource 2, and waiting for resource 1. Here both threads are waiting for each other to unlock resource R1 and R2, but thread 2 cannot release lock for resource R2 until it gets hold of resource R1. So here the deadlock can arise. Necessary conditions for deadlocks. There are 4 necessary conditions for deadlocks to occur: mutual exclusion, hold and wait, no preemption, and circular wait. So here are the four necessary conditions. What are that? There are mutual exclusion, hold and wait, no preemption, and circular wait. So let's see what is mutual exclusion. Mutual exclusion means that only one process can use the resources at a time. So here only one process can use the resources at a time. No other process should not use that. At a time only one process should be taken, should be held by that particular process. Hold and wait means that a person can hold a resource while waiting for another resource. So here before example we have seen that thread 1 is holding resource R1 and thread 2 is holding resource R2. So it is holding R1, but here thread 1 it is holding R1 and it needs R2 to complete its execution, same as thread 2. So this is the problem of hold and wait. And next is no preemption, means that resource cannot be forcibly taken from a process. So this is the third condition. When no preemption means that resource cannot be forcibly taken from a process. So if it is forcibly taken from the process, here the deadlock can occur. Circular wait means that there is a circular chain of process, each waiting for a resource held by next process in the chain. So here R1, for example, let's take a process 1 needs R1, process 2 needs R2. Here R2 is holding process 1, but it needs R1. Thread 2 process 2 needs R1, process 1 needs R2. So this may be like circular wait. Here the thread deadlock can occur. Methods for preventing deadlocks. There are several methods for preventing deadlocks, including using a deadlock prevention algorithm, implementing deadlock avoidance algorithm, and using a deadlock detection algorithm. So there are three methods to prevent the deadlocks. They are deadlock prevention algorithm, or implementing deadlock avoidance algorithm, and using deadlock detection algorithm. Deadlock prevention algorithm works by preventing any of the necessary conditions for deadlocks from occurring. And deadlock avoidance algorithms use information about future resource request to determine whether granting a request will result in deadlock or not. So deadlock prevention algorithm work by preventing any of the necessary conditions for deadlocks from occurring. Deadlock avoidance algorithms use information about future resource requests to determine whether granting a request will result in deadlock. So deadlock detection algorithms periodically checks the system for deadlocks and then take action to resolve them. So prevention in the sense any deadlock is not happened, but it see that uh, it prevents. After the deadlock is been done, it prevents. Avoidance, that means it checks for the condition that deadlock will occur or not. If it occurs, it solves it. And deadlock detection is it again detects that the deadlock can occur or not. So deadlock detection algorithms periodically check the system for deadlocks and then take action to resolve them. Another method for preventing deadlock is to use a resource allocation graph. which shows the relationships between process and resources. By analyzing the graph, it is possible to identify potential graphs and take steps to prevent them. So let's see some real world examples of deadlocks. Deadlocks can occur in a wide variety of real world scenarios, including traffic congestions, banking systems, and manufacturing process. So, here in traffic systems, like uh, let's take a real simple example. If there is a one way route, and if a person goes straight to it, and the opposite person comes straight opposite to this person, and there is only a one way route, and there may be a collision of of the two persons. So there we can say that situation can be called as deadlock. So another real world examples are including traffic congestions, banking systems, and manufacturing process. For example, in a traffic jam, each car is waiting for the car in front of it to move, resulting in a standstill. Until and unless the forward car is not moved, it cannot be moved. It cannot be moved forward. So that may be called as deadlock. In a banking system, two customers may be waiting for each other to release funds before they can complete their transactions. So, two customers may be waiting for each other to release funds before they can complete the transaction. In a manufacturing process, multiple machines may be waiting for each other to finish their task before proceeding. Some two machines are interconnected, and they are waiting for each other to complete their task and move forward. That may be a situation of deadlock. That can be a situation of deadlock. And a conclusion: the deadlock problem is a common issue in computer science and can have significant impact on system performance and stability. As we seen, the result of deadlock can be system crash, low performance, and data loss also. By understanding the necessary conditions for deadlocks and implementing appropriate prevention and detection strategies, it is possible to minimize the occurrence of deadlocks and ensure the smooth operation of complex systems. So, deadlock can occur for the sake of resources. So, we have seen the how what are the initial conditions for deadlocks. We have seen mutual exclusion, we have seen no preemption, we have seen circular wait, and hold and wait. As technology continues, so we have to solve that. We have to solve and we have to solve and we have to move forward. As technology continues to advance and systems become increasingly complex, it is likely that the deadlock problem will continue to be an important area of research and development. So, as technology increases, there will be a more chances of deadlock occurrence. So, there should be a more solution to solve the deadlock. Will be continued in an important area of research and development. So, so here's my conclusion. So, this is my presentation, and thank you.